What's up, guys? Nova Joe here. Guys, I kind of miss the old days. The days before the internet, the days before everybody and their brother could get online and completely trash things before it was ever really experienced. Back then, playing games and learning about games was through magazines, word of mouth, so you weren't inundated with 5,000 opinions about something. A lot of times you had to just learn. Sometimes you had to just give things a try, because sometimes you didn't have a friend that knew anything about a game, and sometimes there wasn't a magazine that covered a game, and you had to take a chance. You had to take a chance on something. Today, that's not really something that people have to deal with too much anymore, is taking a chance. Most times people just hear about a game, get online, look up to see whether it was heavily praised or heavily trashed, and make their decision based on that, and will go off into the wild blue gaming yonder, praising a game that they've never played, or totally trashing a game that they've never played and will never play because they say the game is trash because IGN, GameSpot, Bill Jones Gaming Network told them that it is garbage. And I think a lot of games get done dirty because of that. As you can see here, I am looking at Contra Rogue Corp, a game that has been panned, that has been just swept under the rug, thrown in the ditch, and set on fire by tons and tons and tons of game reviewers, by tons of well, when I say game reviewers, that pretty much covers them all. So, and the thing is that a lot of these people played the game for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, might have gone through a mission or two. Some of them completely went into the game dismissing it because it says Contra, and in their minds, Contra is supposed to be two-dimensional. And because it wasn't two-dimensional, it was already garbage in a lot of their minds. Now, granted, guys, this is my opinion. This is my personal opinion. So, I'm going to have to give you my opinion on a game that I have sunk over 40 hours into. I don't sink 40 hours into a game that's garbage. I sink 40 hours into a game that has held my attention with fun, and with fun. And that's what this game is fun. Now, let me first start off by saying one of the things that the creators of the game had every right to do, but probably shouldn't have done. They probably should not have called this game Contra. Now, I say that not because it's a 3D isometric viewed game, no, because those have been done in the past as well, under the Contra moniker. And Neo Contra, for anyone out there who remembers Neo Contra, it was a great isometric Contra game. But this Contra game doesn't feel like a Contra game, and I'm not talking about gameplay. I think gameplay can be broken up and done differently from game to game and still call it a game in said series, providing there's enough content in there that reminds you of said series. Contra Rogue Corp is not one of those games, so we're going to get this out of the way first. Contra Rogue Corp does not remind me of a Contra game. It does not have Contra music, except for at the very tail end of the game, you'll hear some Contra music coming in there, and then all of a sudden, you're sitting here thinking to yourself, why did I not hear this music in the beginning missions of this game? Why did I not see some of these aesthetics? Because you're going to see, y'all remember the exploding bridge in Contra 1 as you're running through the jungle, and the bridge is exploding as you're running across it? Well, guess what? There's jungle stages on here with those bridges, and some of them blow up, and I'm sitting here going, that's Contra. That's Contra right there. Where was that in the beginning of this game? It wasn't there. So I did not feel like I was playing a Contra game until the tail end of the game. Secondly, the characters, they just don't feel like Contra characters, except for Kaiser, who also gets a skin if you buy the season pass that turns him into Bill from Contra 1. And he's about the only character that feels like a Contra character. So let me say this. This game, in my opinion, should not have been called Contra on these three things. 1, there wasn't enough Contra music. 2, the environments, the aesthetics did not remind me of Contra. And 3, the characters in the game did not remind me of Contra characters. Yes, they did some abstract characters with Contra Hardcore, but these were just kind of out there. So, here's the part that needs to be set aside right now. Should this game have been called Contra? I don't think so. Should it have been called like Rogue Corps? I could have got into it if it was just called Rogue Corps. That's probably what it should have been called. So, I think that's why, right off the bat, this game got trashed. It does not feel like a Contra game. And I'm not talking about gameplay. Like I said, I believe a Contra game can change up the gameplay. You want to do some 2D Contra? Great. You want to do some 3D Contra? Great. As long as you got some weapons, and you got some characters, and you got some environments, and some enemies, and some music that all say Contra, that all speak Contra to you, you can have a Contra game that doesn't necessarily play the same way. I like the way this game plays. I like the gameplay of it, and it would have been wonderful, in my opinion, in a Contra game if the game resembled Contra, more so in the aesthetics and music department. So, with that aside, let me tell you why this game is a good game, and why I sunk 40-some hours into it. Okay, let me get the elephant out of the room real quick. This is the Switch version, the ugliest version that there is. So, if you're going to even consider getting this game, and graphics matter to you, don't get the Switch version. I, however, have bought the Switch version and have had a ton of fun playing it. The graphics are awful. They look awful, but it doesn't hamper the gameplay. I mean, you're talking to a 40-year-old man who cut his teeth on an Atari 2600. So this does not bother me. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this game does offer you right off the bat. First off, you got 4 characters. You got Kaiser, you got Miss Harakiri, Hungry Beast, and Gentleman. Now, they all control the same. The gunplay is the same, but they have different skills. Like Bill, for instance, when you activate his special, he will get a kind of like a spread shot for a certain period of time. Miss Harakiri, when you activate hers, her damage increases, her speed increases and damage increases. She's the best character in my opinion, by the way. She's who I beat the game with. You got Hungry Beast. Well, his special is he throws out some turrets that fire in one particular direction. They don't like lock on or anything, but he throws out some turrets. And you got Gentleman, who throws out a kind of like a black hole of sorts and kind of sucks in the enemies. So you got 4 different characters here, and as you can see here, you can get skins for them. And I'll let you know right off the bat, you don't get any skins that I have found from playing through the game. These all came from either the little code that came in the package, or from the fact that I bought the season pass for $2.50, folks. I bought the season pass for $2.50. Oh, wait a minute, I forgot. I had a $2.50 balance. I got it for $5. I paid $5 for it. It was $10. Had a 50% off sale. I paid $5, and I got some skins. It gives you some money, and it gives you some bonus skills and things you can add on. So, what makes this game fun? Well, first off, it's kind of like a roguelike in a way. It starts out kind of tough, but the more you play and the more missions that you beat, the more skills that you unlock. And those skills that you unlock enhance your character. Plus, you do level up. You level up, and when you level up, it makes your weapon stronger. You can then, with those things that you unlock from beating the missions, you can go to transplant. And within transplant, you can pick a brain, eyes, skeleton, heart upgrades. And as you can see here, these upgrades all do different things. And this one I unlocked the other night, and this is awesome. This one's awesome. It gives me 2 extra bombs. It gives me 22.4% more credits, which is the money in the game. My bombs now do 22.4% more damage. Plus, I get an extra life. I get damage negation, so I don't take as much damage. But if you look through here, you can see that you can set your character up however you want. If you want your special weapon powered up, pick one that gives you a stronger special weapon. If you're tired of being paralyzed, pick one that reduces your chance of being paralyzed. Throw attack, if you want to throw your enemies, pick this one. It'll give you a 29.6% damage boost to throwing. And you can do this for all the different parts you get. Now, what's also neat about this is not only can you pick a part, but once you pick the part, you then can go over and pick one of these lovely surgeons here and possibly enhance that part. Now, I'll be honest with you, then I just usually stick with the guy over here who's free, because sometimes I've had it damaged, because it doesn't just give you the chance of boosting the part, but it also runs a risk of reducing the potency of the part. And I've had more reductions than I've had boosts, so sometimes I just steer clear unless I'm willing to take a gamble. And you use your credits to purchase that with. Now, what's also neat is that you can go and you can purchase parts. You can go in here and sometimes you can find really good parts. So there's a lot of customization you can do to your character to make your character tough as nails and set them up the way you want them to be. You got an inventory here. It shows all these different weapons that you've collected, and then you can go and you can create those weapons. Let me go show you where you do all that at. So you can go over here to the workshop. And once you go to the workshop, you can then go and purchase weapons that they have, or the weapon schematics, I like to call them, that you have picked up from completing a mission. You can then go to develop, and these are all the schematics I've picked up. And as you can see here, they're different colors. Well, that's the rarity of them. That's the ranking of them. And so, like, you go to sort, and you can see here you go from common all the way to legendary. And then you have different types of weapons, main weapons, sub weapons. You got different affinities, so that some weapons will have pyro damage, venom damage, omeric damage, which is just electricity. You then can also say you don't want to get rid of one of the weapons and you just really, really like the weapon. Well, then go in here and upgrade it. Like, for instance, right here, Miss Harakiri, who is, by the way, awesome in this game. Her special is just amazing, so I stick with her. And I've got a super, super, super awesome weapon called the Rocket Punch. This thing is a beast. Well, when I got it, it was a low rent weapon, and I just kept upgrading it till it's an S rank now. And then my Blastgauss gun, which it is an amazing weapon too. It's just, the weapons in this game are so much fun, and there's so many of them, and so many different varieties of them that you can have a field day testing these weapons. Now that you've seen these weapons, wait till you see this. Alright, go over here to customize. Go into like your main weapon, which for me is the blast Gauss gun. Well, now you can put different skills on them. They're called bad skills, but they're not bad. And so like this particular one right here, it reduces my overheat. And so I've been wanting, like this blast Gauss gun, I've wanted to make it where it overheats as little as possible. As you can see over here on the right hand side, my heat up is now 15.6%, and that's how you know how hot your weapon is going to get with each shot. And so what happens is in this game, which has ticked off a lot of people, but it's actually a lot of fun, and it actually adds some challenge to this game, is that your weapons overheat. Well, if you don't like your weapon overheating so much, then go in here and attach the skills to it that will reduce it so that it doesn't reduce the heat that is generated, so that your weapon doesn't overheat as much. But you have a plethora of abilities here. You have ones that enhance your cool rate, means your weapon cools down quicker. You've got some that increase the base damage of your weapon. And then my personal favorites are these right here, these little extra weapon effects that are added. So like for instance, my blast Gauss gun, as you'll see right here, back out here and show you, when I fire it, watch what happens. Flames shoot out backwards. So now if I have enemies coming behind me, they're getting toasted. Well, what's also great about it is, say you have an enemy that is weak to fire, and so say your blast Gauss gun isn't doing a lot of damage to it. Well, some of the big fatties on here are very, very, very weak to fire, and so like they'll jump, and say like this surgery table here is the big fatty, and he jumps. Well, I move out of the way. Well, what I do is I turn my back to him and I start firing, and my flames are toasting him while he's on the ground, and he is just getting decimated. Well, you see there, I overheated the gun. Well, you overheat, flip to your other gun. Now I've got my rocket punch. As you can see, my rocket punch has little satellite machine guns that are attached to it, and it doesn't look like they're doing much, but you got to see how much damage they do to an enemy. They just absolutely destroy an enemy. But I don't have to have my gun like that. I can set it up however I want. You can go in and pick any type of skill, any type of trait, to make your weapons just the way you want them to be. And just like the weapons, your skills in this game, they're ranked by rarity as well. And so you can see here, I have got a ton, an absolute ton of skills. Well, say you're needing some money. We'll sell some of your skills. Go in here and sell them. Make the money that you need, and then go and set up the weapon the way you want. Say you don't have the gun you want. Go over here to purchase weapons and see if it's in here. Now granted, you're not always going to have the weapon you want in here, but you are either going to get the weapon you want from going through the missions and completing them, or just check back here from time to time and you'll have a weapon in here. Now like this one, I don't know what a stock Gauss gun is, so I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to go ahead and purchase it. Now it's bought. So then I'm going to go over here, I'm going to go to develop, because I'm curious. I really am curious. I don't know what this is. And I am going to, you have to use some of your parts. Now, you can do auto select material, and it'll pick some parts to make the weapon with out of your already stockpile of parts, or you can go select them yourself. But usually I don't worry too much about it, and I let it do it for me, because it usually always goes for the garbage skills first before going anywhere else. And then voila, I just created a new weapon, stock Gauss gun. Now, what happens is when you're playing through these missions, your guns level up. I'm going to stop myself right here. The best way for me to show you what I'm talking about regarding the weapons and regarding the fun and the leveling up and all that is just to flat out show you a mission. So here we go. We're going to jump right on into one. Alright guys, now this is how the missions work. Your missions in this game are on a mission rank scale from 1 to 9. And once you beat the missions, you get a letter rank. Well, those letter ranks determine what kind of abilities and skills that you unlock at the end of the mission. So as you can see here, I've already S ranked the first 3 mission ranks. But as you can see here, once I hit mission rank 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, it starts to get a little bit more difficult to get through there. Well, then you also unlock hardcore missions. So not only do you have your standard missions here, which do have a nice level of challenge and a fun level that keeps you coming back like a roguelike type game, because you're starting to get a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better, and you want to see just how well you can do, and you want to see oh, that was so close, I almost beat that mission, let me try this again. And then you do, and you succeed, and then you get new weapons, and you want to try them out, and you want to level them up. It's addicting. This game is so much fun. It's so addicting. Well, then, as you're playing through the missions, you unlock hardcore missions, which are even harder versions. For those of you who are masochists and like to feel pain, even in your gaming habits, here, play some of these hardcore missions where you start out with 0 lives and 0 bombs. Or you can do the exploration missions, which is, you got 4 missions here. I haven't even unlocked all of them yet. But these are the ones that you can play with multiple people. Now, let me say this. This is a negative. This is a negative, guys. You can't play through the regular missions with co-op. That is another reason why they should not have called this a Contra game. You can't play co-op through the main missions. But you can play co-op on these exploration missions. So there is some co-op, and it can be fun. Because you are leveling up, you are earning things, you are having fun, you are having a good time, but it's just not the entire game. So, let's go ahead and, because I don't want to spoil any of the later levels for you, I'm going to pick, I'm just going to pick Wipeout Part 2. And show you guys what one of these missions is like. Alright, now the game is an isometric top-down shooter, and it is a dual analog type game. So as you can see here comes some monsters. You just aim with your right analog stick, point it in the general direction, and away you go. Like this guy right here, let's pick, oh, you got a dash move, and it'll let you get out of the way. There you go. Now I got him dazed. Well, you can pick him up, throw him into some environmental hazards here. Kind of wish this would have been a daytime level so you could see more. Well, this is a wave-based mission. I didn't pay attention to what I was picking there and picked a wave-based mission, but that's all right. This is still fun. There's some varieties to the missions. Now, like my weapon here, I can just toast them. Now, this gun I have is a great gun because it ricochets, and as it ricochets, that ball gets bigger. And as it gets bigger, it does more damage. I don't know if you can see how it's getting little, then gets bigger. Flies up that way. Alright, whoop, got some bad guys here. Wave 2, alright. Then you got these little canisters you can pick up, and these canisters help you get better stuff at the end. Like there's a fatty. I'm going to toast him. I'm going to turn away from him and then burn him. Look at it, look at damage. He's gone. Now, like I said, this is a much earlier mission, so this isn't too overly difficult, and I was able to get through it pretty quickly. Now, let's change your weapon up. Like here is my rocket fist, and it just flies right straight through the enemies. There's just so many unique and fun weapons. I mean, I'm kind of like Thanos here. I'm shooting out the Infinity Gauntlet at my enemies. Now, another one of the things that some people, I guess, don't like about this game, another reason why they shouldn't have called it Contra, is this is not a one-hit kill type game. This is one where you do have a shield, and when the shield is gone, then you have one more hit and you're dead. However, you have a lot of different, I guess you could say, a lot of different moves in your repertoire here. So you got a dash skill that'll let you dodge enemies, and it does some damage to them at the same time. And then you have this bomb attack right here, which I'm getting ready to do. And what's nice about the bomb attack is, say your health is really low, you'll actually get a little bit of health back with the bomb attack. Now, here is her special skill. I'm going to wait. Actually, I'm going to save that until I get right here to the end where I fight the very next wave here. But it will double my damage. Like, here we go. There's a tubby. Get out of his way. He's dead. I'm really decimating them because I've got a lot of... These are really high-powered in-game weapons. And I've really worked hard to level them up. Now, I'm going to use my skill, or my special ability. There we go. Now she's extra fast, and her weapons do even more damage. Look at that. He was dead in just a split second. There we go. Mission is now complete. Heading back home. Escape immediately. And missions don't go that quick all the time. Sometimes they take a while. They usually give you a 20-minute timer. But as you can see there, your time helps how quickly you do a mission, how many kills you get in a mission, and how many of those little canisters you pick up. They determine what your rank is. As you can see here, I got an A rank. And then you level up. And as you can see here, my Blast Gauss gun just leveled up to 7. Now what that means is that my Blast Gauss gun will now do... its stats will be enhanced, so I might do more damage. It might overheat a lot less. It might cool down quicker than my rocket punch. It's leveling up as well. Now, once you do finish the mission, you get some credits, and then you get all of these different skills and enhancements. And so for getting an A rank, I got another battery, and I got a B rank battery as well. But I also picked up a giant's brain, 2 giant's brains, and 2 different types of hearts. Well, one of those hearts is specifically for Miss Harakiri. And then I picked up all these other traits here, things that will enhance my weapons, enhance my own my own body frame, and make me a better fighter. So guys, this game has a lot to offer. It has a lot of customization. It has a lot of weapon collecting, part collecting, enhancing. It has a lot of fun missions, a lot of really rewarding gameplay, because you get some really awesome things for beating a mission that make your guns not just more enhanced numerically, but visually. You're gonna see some really cool special effects. You're gonna have some really cool additional bonus, I guess you could say, firepower attached to your guns at times. I got this one weapon that's like a hula hoop, and it goes around, and it is devastating if I spin my controller, or when I spin my left analog stick and make my guy spin. Well, that makes the hula hoop go even faster, and it shreds through these enemies. It is so much fun. And no, it is not a piece of cake. This game is challenging. Like I said, it took me over 40 hours to get good enough to beat it. So, guys, this is my review of Contra Rogue Corp. Sadly, it is a game that is going to get washed away with the annals of time. It is going to get buried underneath the AAA titles that we are so used to hearing about, the Uncharteds and the Marios and the God of War games and the Red Deads. It's just going to get swept underneath the rug. But the thing about this game that really strikes a chord with me is that it reminds me a lot of what games were about when I was younger. Not so much about the story, not so much about the graphics, but about the addictive, fun gameplay. This game has that, and I think a lot of you who enjoy action games, who enjoy roguelike type games, should give it a try. It's going down in price, so just look around, see what you can find it for. I don't regret spending $40 on it. I have got my $40 Basically, I can spend $1 an hour, and I have got my $40 back already, and I'm going to be getting a lot more gameplay time out of this game. So guys, look around. Before long, you'll probably see it in the bargain bin at your local GameStop. So alright guys, I hope you've enjoyed this review, and I hope you'll give this game a chance. And as always guys, take care, God bless, and keep on gaming. And if I don't have another video out before Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving to each of you. God bless.